Hello beautiful, good morning to you all and welcome to Daybreak Africa on KAFTAN television where we imagine a beautiful world. My name is Odunayo.
And my name still remains Joshua Adegbeyeni and Elo and some people too as well. Like she said, you talked about
beautiful people and
some people. So
morning to you, good morning.
Yeah, morning to you, good morning. Welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, it's still Daybreak Africa and yes, it's time to go straight to our discussions for today. Today we're looking at one of the most topical issues in Nigeria. We were supposed to have discussed it yesterday, but we'll be looking at it today, which has to do with insecurities within the nation and looking for means to provide lasting solution to this menace. If you're very observant, not just within the southwest, even within the north central, it's very, very, very prevalent in those areas, looking at the fact that even Niger State recently had its fair share of a bit of violence. Kwara, same thing. Government just came out and just began to spray bullets on people and citizens in those states. And we are looking at states where they are already, imposing curfew and putting stringent laws for people at this particular time to ensure safety of the communities and the states in question. And it's becoming something that Nigerians are very worried about. It's hard for Nigerians to sleep with their two eyes closed as we speak, looking at the fact that the violence is so prevalent that many don't even know who's next. Where is the next spot where these attacks are going to occur? And a lot of things have been talked about. Many are saying the attacks are politically motivated. Many are talking about age-long communal clashes. Many are talking about the prevalent activities of armed herdsmen. Many talked about the bandits. Many talk about terrorism and some new terrorist groups that are just coming up within states in the country. And yeah, we'll be looking at this holistically today. And to discuss with us today in the studio, we have with us public affairs analyst, he's also a political analyst. He is a social commentator, very, very vibrant and activist by excellence too as well, in the person of a friend of the house, Adegbeyeni. Abiodun, welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me, Josh. Thanks for having me.
It's actually nice having you as well. And we really like your attire. The suit there is giving.
Wow, it's my pleasure. Thank you. You're not looking bad too.
All right.
It's Thursday actually, so it's casual for today. But looking at all this, we also have a bit of a sad and dire situation in the country as we speak. The state of the nation when it comes to the security aspect, everywhere it's as if everybody has their fair share of insecurities. Almost every state is just like the usual statement they say that it touches everybody. It's touching everyone in large format, even down to the south, looking at the fact that some issues are already growing up within Warri and Itakpi and those areas too as well. But why do you think that at this particular state in the country, the insecurity is kind of at, we can't say an all-time high, but this year, this period, April especially, it's on a very high level. Why do you think it's brewing up at this particular time in the country?
Well, like you said in your introductory statements, everything is all about politics. So the undertone behind this insecurity we are seeing is politically motivated. So why did I say that? Now we've seen people, quite a number of people, I mean from the northern extraction, that they have they are focused on 2027 election, and what many of them think they can do is to sabotage the relative peace we are enjoying. So that was how they did it. It's just like it's a playbook that plays out every year. You remember in 2015, this was the same card that was played. All right, the kidnap of the Chibok girls. Yeah. You understand what's played out at the end of the day. So that actually happened to discredit the administration of a Goodluck Jonathan. So for this present government, I think the immediate past president to assume power, and people are now following the pattern. I think many of the northern leaders, they are visibly angry. Let me say with the current administration. So they feel now one of the things they can use maybe in 2027 is this insecurity of a thing that has bedeviled the nation, to an extent. Now maybe to use that to campaign for their own candidate. So, and I think at this point in time, one thing I've come to realize is that when you have a president that is trying to pamper issues, a president that is not taking a stand. One thing I've come to notice about leaders is that, especially leaders from the southern extraction, the southwest, south, they love to massacre the ego
of the north.
You understand what I'm talking about? Because they feel they are going to need them. And you see, we have some leaders of the northern extraction, when the issue of insecurity is perpetrated, you will see they become reticent, because if they talk, so there are people who will go against them. Don't worry, we'll wait for you 2027. So they prefer to stay aloof or to sit on the fence. Now, on the part of the southern leaders, they feel, okay, we are still going to need these people
at the end of the day.
That's why you see the issue of de-radicalization of terrorists, instead of dealing decisively with them. So why the northern leaders, they have their own fault, the presidency too
has its own
so
fault.
you have to deal decisively, like President Obasanjo, that's what, to some extent, that's what is known for. So you don't imagine people killing, at will, shedding blood, and this same set of people, you say you are rehabilitating them, then integrate them in the society. For example, if somebody killed my father, God forbid, my father and my mother, right before my eyes, and according to you, you are radicalizing the same person to be living with me in the same neighborhood, how do you think I will feel seeing that person? But then the bias is obvious. You de-radicalize some people. Why you say you are dealing decisively with the IPOB from the southern extraction? So that means we have one country, two systems. So to me, everything is all about politics. We know what we are doing. It's a game. So they are playing chess game with the lives of the people. I think that's what I can say.
I feel like the fact that you brought over the issue of the radicalization of terrorists, because just when we are this week, just when we were all crying about what was happening in Benue, what was happening in Plateau State. In fact, Benue's one is extreme as we speak. For the governor to be telling the presidential aspirant that I can't guarantee your safety if you come over. That's how low it's gone. And in that same week, I think that's about Tuesday, we saw some Boko Haram terrorists, repentant Boko Haram terrorists, have been reintegrated back into the society. Now here's our question. Do you think it takes that very short period to de-radicalize terrorists, looking at the fact that we've had prisoners in prisons for years in this country, and they've not returned them to society because of the correctional facilities have not done their job to that. Now, talking about terrorists, so fast, 2 years, 3 years, they are back to the society.
Well, let me start from here. The people in the vicinity where this evil is being perpetrated, they know these people. For example, there's this particular man, is a Toji.
Bello Toji.
For the past 8 years now, they used to kill that man every year. The military has neutralized Toji and his boys, this and that, every year. So they know them. Now the question is, why do you even negotiate with terrorists in the first place? Why do you negotiate with terrorists? People who have wreaked havoc in the nation. There are some people who have, quite a number of people, dreams have been cut short. People have been turned to widows and widowers. Children have been turned to fatherless. They have been turned to orphans. So why do you negotiate? So your duty as a military man or security agency, I don't know, is to deal decisively with these people. Now, I think this thing has been part of them. That's why you see we have seen in news outlets that some claim repentant Boko Haram, you see them going back to their vomit again, because they have been exposed to a kind of flamboyant lifestyle. Now the question you need to ask yourself is that, who are those funding these people? So they will collect this money, and they are, to some extent, they are still looking impoverished. All right, now they will have to, the way I see it, I like I told you the other time, it's a playbook, just like a script that has been written. So they will feed their sponsors back, they are given their own share. Now, it's crazy that we have kidnappers, bandits, all these terrorists. They have a TikTok account. They have social media. And what is the duty of a security agency? Like the last time I came here, I made mention of something that even average Nigerians speak against the government.
They will get you in
within a day. They will track you down. All right. This issue of insecurity, I know there's a conspiracy. There's a conspiracy. You know, the military head of state, was it not Abacha? He said if insurgency lasts more than 24 hours, government hasn't done it. It's just like some people are making money from this insecurity of a thing. That is just it. That's it. So when you say you keep people within 3 years, you are where you are rehabilitating them, de-radicalizing them, it doesn't make them to change from who they are, because it's in the blood. Somebody who has been trained to carry gun. Now another question we need to ask: how do they get all those guns, all those ammunitions? All right, that our military do not even have. Our military personnel, they don't have the kind of ammunitions these terrorists have. Now, I want to shift this in. You know, for you to know that we are in a country that operates on two systems. When the establishment of the Southwest Security Network, Amotekun, codename Amotekun, the Southwest governors, they were part of those that pushed for a bill, to legalize firearms for these people. But the then Attorney General
Abubakar Malami,
yes, he vehemently went against it. But then in North, we have another security network that they legalize to carry firearm. You understand? So
that's the Hezbollah.
Thank you very much. Hezbollah. So that means we have a country we are practicing two systems. Now we have a president. Is it not an affront on Nigerians for you to use taxpayers' money to give these people VIP treatment? Terrorists. This is what I see, that leaders, even some leaders in this part of the world, this Africa, they cannot do that. How do you allow terrorists, to be living on taxpayers' money? You give them VIP treatment, but if somebody steals a goat, that person will go to prison. If somebody, see, we all know what we are doing at the end of the day. But then, like I said, it's just like they are playing chess
with the lives of people.
The president needs to stand on his feet. Enough of junketeering all about living flamboyant lifestyle. Imagine, I know a serious government. Let me say now, unapologetically, a serious president. The moment that kind of mass murder happened in Benue, he should have cancelled all his engagements. But by the way, we don't even know what he went there to do. When we have a government that operates on issuing statement from spokesperson, we cannot hear from the president directly. We don't know what's happening to the president. Pope Francis died recently. Everything about him, his health status, this and that. You cannot just you are just banking. I think what they are banking on is the docility of Nigeria. It doesn't matter what they do, we are not going to do anything. That is it. So they know what they are doing. They know.
Okay, so I would like to ask, having said all of this, with you mentioned our political system. So can we say that our security agencies are not to be blamed for this? But I understand the fact that they are somebody's husband, they are from one family or the other. But can't we also blame them for not doing their job the way they ought to do as regards this insecurity in Nigeria?
It may interest you to know that the security agency we have, if they have the wherewithal, they have the support they need, they can actually work. Honestly, you will recall that during the time of Jonathan, when those people that kidnapped the Chibok girls, when they said they passed through some checkpoints, but there was an order that the military men are manning the checkpoints to leave. The point is, they didn't kidnap those girls, they didn't trek with them, they went there with buses. How did they get there? That's the question.
How did they escape?
How did they escape?
Even the logistics that those criminals make use of is
Who gave it to them? Yes, thank you very much.
That cannot be cited or seen. It's things that are very boisterous and tangible.
In fairness to our military, we have one of the best in the wide world if they have the support, all right? But then when they are the beck and call of the political the political class, that when they say this is what you should do this, do that, do this, do that. The question is, if terrorists invade the National Assembly today, you will agree with me that within 24 hours they are going to be nabbed.
Exactly.
Because of their
intelligence. We have national intelligence agency in this country. What is the national security advisor doing? Enough of releasing press statements. One thing I know about this is that they prefer to be reactive rather than being proactive. There's something called prevention. You don't begin to cry when the deed has been done. Why can't you put in place preventive measures? How are these people infiltrating? That is it. We claim to be sovereign nation. Are we doing all it takes to be sovereign indeed? Are we taking our place? We are not. Nigeria have not become laughing stock before international communities. This cannot continue like this. That's just it. So the point is, as security agency, they are up to the task. They are up to the task. But the point is, they have been reduced to oppressing individuals. It may interest you to know that military men are now the service of military men are now being engaged to go. to collect money. Maybe you are owing somebody. They can bring military a soldier to your house to collect their money. You understand? Husband and wife will be fighting. A policeman will be hired to come and arrest, come and
civil issues that shouldn't
be discussed. Policemen, they have been reduced to carrying bags for the creme de la creme of the society. So that's what they have been reduced to. So if they are put on the track to doing their job, I think they will deliver. The Inspector General of Police 2 days ago, he gave an order that every police attached to VIPs be withdrawn and all that. Do you think that's genuine and is a step towards ensuring their activities? Because it just came 2 days ago, and we're still looking towards. I'm still observing because I've ever since he made that statement, I'm still saying that all through this weekend I will make sure I attend parties of VIPs.
Okay,
to see if it is confirmed or not, because the decree came, the order came 2 days ago. Do you think it's genuine? Do you think it's sincere? Because honestly, like you said, it's just a very sad sight to see a police officer that is supposed to be at the war front or where there is a lot of gross insecurities is just there. There was one that came to attack a friend, and I told him point blank to his face, your mates are at the war front. Why are you dealing with an unarmed guy here, all because of just someone's order? And this is here. So do you think this order is kind of genuine from the Inspector General of Police?
The question I will need to ask you, who are the VIPs? Who are the VIPs from top to bottom? Who are the VIPs we are talking about? We talk about VIPs, talk about the Senate President and the likes. All right? We talk about the Deputy Senate Presidents and all every one of them. So do you think that order will work? Egbetokun is only play with our emotion. I make bold to say, ever since we've been having IGPs, is the worst I've seen. I am telling you, securing life and properties of the citizens is not about issuing press statements. You have more words than action. And action, they say, speak louder than words. Do your job. Sometimes you leak your secrets. We have gone after this and that. You have gone. Do your job, get results before you come to social media. That's
I think they are more. They talk before.
Yes, they talk before action. So it doesn't work. I remember there was a time, something happened. I think maybe you read in the news where this US team, SEALs, they came into Nigeria to rescue and it was after the rescue
that the news came out.
Even our intelligence agency were not aware that it was Donald Trump that released the news. That how come?
I think some people within the nation knew, but everybody was ordered to seal them out. Still,
you understand? This Afenifere leader that was kidnapped, Odunayo, about 21 days in kidnappers' den. The question is, the thing is, they use this man's phone imagine somebody in kidnappers then using his phone to post on Facebook at the behest of the kidnappers. He posted on Facebook. He tagged one of the escorts of Afenifere. Please issue this statement. Talk to my wife. Don't let them to kill me. This and that. He had the 2 bullets into his buttocks. So what are we saying? The man now said when they wanted to rescue him, because they said we know you. Okay, separate yourself because you are the leader of Afenifere. So when they want to rescue him, they pay his wife paid the ransom. This is a military checkpoint. This is the checkpoint. They paid the ransom here. Wow. I am telling you.
Wow. So
now, the easiest way to track the person, a victim, you use his own phone to post on Facebook and you cannot track the location. But if it is just a mere man, if that person is underground, you will track him there. What are you now doing? That means you I call it a selective amnesia. You are being selective in the kind of issues you want to treat, and it doesn't work that way.
Now, you pointed out something about selective amnesia, and I think aside from the security operatives, one of the observations I've been having lately is the fact that even these terrorists and many of them that perpetrate the crimes occurring all across the nation are selective. Like you said, they never go to the high class. They always target the lowest of the low, and the lower class. And to a very large extent, it's beginning to seem kind of funny. Because while you were commenting about the issue of the rehabilitations or the radicalization of the terrorists, I began to ask myself a question. The terrorists that repented, didn't they give you information on their sponsors? Didn't they give you information on how they get their ammunitions?
Exactly.
At least if we are to even take you into our custody, try to rehabilitate you, their statements, and it's bringing a big question to my what do you feel is the end game of many of these people perpetrating these criminal activities? Because honestly, it's getting to a point where if you feel you are a terrorist and your only task is to just, some of the time many of these terrorists don't even attack people of the outside, they attack their home within. So how do you, because some of these personal the one they call the suicide bombers, they don't bomb places that are strange. It's sometimes in their own location. How do you feel this plays out? What do you think is the end games to many of these their activities that they perpetrate?
Okay, before I talk about the end game, I want to talk about, you made mention of the fact that these people, they don't attack the high class. For example, if you are giving me a job, I will strike a deal. Understand? You are doing what is expected of you. How do you want me to go and attack you? You sent me a message. That's it. Like you rightly mentioned, when at the during the stage of the radicalization of these people, I think they interviewed them, they interrogated rather them, they got some information. Why is it that they are not releasing the names of the sponsor? I think it's T.Y. Danjuma. He said if he speaks everything in his mind, Nigeria will burn. Yes. Recently, the man was saying, Nigerians, defend yourself. And another governor was saying, if Nigerians defend themselves, it's going to cause anarchy. But you cannot protect the people.
So why are you now telling them
these deaths are avoidable, all right? The point is, insecurity, there will be an end to insecurity the day government functionaries, political leaders, they say enough is enough. You understand? So if, because, like I said, if the sponsors of this terrorists, if they don't make up their mind, okay, enough is enough at this point in time, we should just call it a quits. I don't see insecurity ending soon. All right, and the kind of federalism we're even practicing is a perverse one. Why
do you say it's perverse?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, we are talking about security of lives and properties. I know the security agency that is saddled with this responsibility, they place men, but we have an headquarter of police in Abuja that is controlling the 36 states, even an Abuja. All right, what is delaying these people? Although the fear of people is that if we have state policing, all right, the governor can use it, but that is a minor issue. If we have state policing, the owners will rely on the governors to give these people. Now, when we are talking about insecurity, everybody will be saying ever since the president got into power, IGR has increased. A governor now, the average security votes a governor collects is over 3 billion monthly.
Way 3 times the price.
What are they doing? So the only thing they do, okay, buy eloxys for security agents, and that's all. It may interest you to know they have even infiltrated our forests in Ondo. See the way they are killing our farmers. These are people's fathers, these are people's mothers. All these deaths are avoidable. So that's why I said, if our leaders can start out that enough is enough. You recall, the wife of the former CP of Lagos State, Akim Odumosu, was kidnapped. Within how many days?
Very few.
Within how many days? Within few days, they got that woman released and they arrested the perpetrators.
Can you imagine?
But then, that man, Ojajuni, he said the police did not have a single input. Wow. Now the NSA came out that Nigeria should stop paying ransom. If they pay ransom, they are encouraging.
It's counterproductive.
I don't know. You are not ready to protect the people and you don't want them to protect themselves? What an irony.
We'll look at this actually. The discussion is getting very interesting actually. But first, let's take a short break. Let's go for Go Start. After Go Start, we'll come back here and just give some conclusions towards these discussions that we're having. We're still trying to propose solutions to the issues of insecurity. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome back to the show. Just joined us, still Daybreak Africa. I hope you enjoyed Go Start. I hope you learned one thing, and I'm very, very, very hopeful that you're going to do something with what you've learned on Go Start today. But then it's time to just return back to our discussions, especially on Daybreak Africa, and we have been discussing about the insecurity state in Nigeria and preferring solutions, lasting solutions to this menace in the society. And I like the way where you ended it on Abiodun before we went on a short break, where you talked about the place of state policing, and you said though people are having fears, but it's a minor issue. And you talked about another very valid point. You talked about self-defense. It's not just T.Y. Danjuma that talked about it. One of the heads in DSS actually, he made the same statement too as well, talking about communal defenses towards insecurities and all that. And let's start with the issue of state policing here, which many have talked about. Regional policing have been very effective in the Southwest. We won't deny that. Though, due to many issues, especially lack of fundings, proper fundings, as recently postulated by many youths within the state, is what is affecting the Amotekun as we speak, and is what is making sure that many of these armed herdsmen are having their ways in the forests of the state, which, if proper funding comes to the Amotekun, they believe that it's going to be a thing of the past. But let's focus on state policing holistically, and let's talk about maybe community policing, state policing, community policing, because I remember that in 2019, President Muhammad Buhari talked about community policing and even released some amount of money to its effect, which till today is not holding. We don't know where the money went to, and it's in billions actually. But then let's talk about state policing. We don't yet have an independent, like financially independent state judiciary, financially independent state legislature. Even the local government autonomy is still a bone of contention, even though affirmed some state governors are still doing some magos behind to just ensure that local government chairmen don't operate independently. But now, if state police comes in, one of the arguments people have made is it makes the state governor an emperor, to a point that it can do and undo with the police of the state. Now, do you think with such kind of fears, the state policing should still go ahead when all these things are not put in place?
Well, I've always thought that humanity first before politics. Anywhere you see politics placed above humanity, anarchy will always be inevitable. Like I said, even with the absence of state policing, the governors are still, with their power, with their executive power, they still use the policemen are still at their beck and call, except on some few occasions, all right? They still use so are we going to say because the governors are going to use the policemen to their own advantage, we should allow the people to be dying like chickens. No, that was why I said initially that's a minor issue. So what we are after is the security and life of the property of the people, because any government that fails in that regard, what are you doing in office? In a sane climb, the time that the president left, well, if we have, what's it called, if we have National Assembly that is, where sanity is ruling, I don't think he shouldn't be able to come back and still be president. Something happened. I'm sorry to go into the scripture. There was a time David was not around as a king. Before he came back, invaders came in. They took away his wife, took away everything he had. He was weeping profusely that at a point in time there was no tears. The big men, the big-bodied men, they were trying to stone him. Then he asked, he encouraged him, said, Lord, shall I pursue? That is the vision of a leader. People are looking up to you. Why were they looking up to David? Because they see him as a leader. And he went after those people. He retrieved all. That was what happened. Now, you will recall that he got an information that his country, his own city, own country had been invaded. Then he cut off his engagements and came back. He empathized with the people. You understand? But where is the sympathy? It was after the uproar that the National Security Advisor visited Benue State. No political leaders. And those that are visiting, that are trying to empathize, identify with these people, you say they are doing it for political reasons. You say they are pretending. Why can't you do your own pretense? You too pretend. A serious government should have visited, declare a state of emergency. Now, what I've seen in this bias is that the government feels that oil pipelines are more valuable than the lives of the people. You can read between the lines.
A state of emergency by now should have been coming up.
I am telling you, declare the state of emergency. People are dying like chickens. All right. I read in the news that in that Benue, a whole family, 4 children, with their parents, they were wiped off. Yeah. Imagine people being killed in their sleep. There's this Yoruba saying, maybe I'm permitted. People were sleeping, hoping they were going to wake up the next day. But then, from that sleep, they met their death. No, we cannot continue like this. That's just it.
We can't continue.
We must be serious. What you signed for is that you want to protect the people. If you cannot do it, get the fuck out. That's it. You cannot just be playing emotions. Pastor Bakari said something recently that we are playing this gutter politics. All right, all you know how to do is to, what's it called, is to make the opposition lose their potency, to bring up, so that you want to turn the country to a one-party system. You are not doing what you have voted for. You are playing Maradona politics. How can a man have A1 in playing politics but F9 in managing the country, F9 in governance? You have to, there's a thin line between governance and politics. You get it? You can play politics, they call you Jagaba. Are you Jagaban of governance? Okay. That's why somebody like me, the reason why we have problem practicing partisan politics. Tomorrow, sir, if you see me practicing partisan politics, maybe my values have been eroded. I'm the kind of person that loves speaking truth to power. Now the point is, one of the things that happened recently is that we saw in the news, I'm sorry to digress, that the president who promised us electricity, they now want to disconnect from the national grid. They want to install 10 billion solar. All right, that means they don't even have this belief. So what I am telling you now, we have people who should speak truth to power. They are still defending what is not defensible. What cannot be defense? The only thing
because at least he is supposed to feel the pain of the people.
That is empathy we are talking about. That's empathy we are talking about. Let the people see that you identify with them. You don't ask the people to manage while they are being killed. You gallivant around. You live in opulence. It doesn't work that way. So when I see you, I will not take you serious
because you don't feel what I'm feeling.
You are not feeling it. Because anytime I read in the news that people are being killed, I will say, it could be me tomorrow. Today's victim were yesterday's survivor. Apology to Aisha Yesufu. They never knew that they were going to die. The problem, that's the problem. So you don't wait till something happens to you before you start speaking out.
Let's have a look at something there. One of the things one of the statements Governor Ali of Benue State made the governor of Plateau State, though Plateau seems a bit more into armed herdsmen, communal killings, because if you look at the Plateau, they have issues of communal killings from time immemorial. In fact, many states in Nigeria have such issues because of tribal issues from even the pre-colonial era, which I believe in this generation we shouldn't be having that again. There should have been governmental steps taken, negotiations taken to ensure that that doesn't even see the light of day anymore. And the statement he made was many of the killings happening within Benue states are by foreigners. And if you look at many governmental bodies too as well, even the Mietiala that is supposed to even be in charge of the Fulani herdsmen, they will never address issues attached to some bad eggs and miss them committing crimes. Rather, they will rather say they are not actually the herdsmen from within the nation, but from outside the nation, who just, infiltrated into the nation. Now, my own point there is, how did they even gain access into your state? No, let's even start with state. Into the nation at that level, to a point that they entered your nation with guns. They entered your state with guns, and you don't have any architecture to address your borders. I thought they even said the borders were locked. How come food do not come in, but human beings with guns?
They are hand-trained.
You can see it doesn't add up. I was watching Governor Halia on Channels TV yesterday. Actually, one-on-one between him and Shewo Kibaloye. So the one was saying, it was trying to choose his words carefully. He's a member of the APC.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. It was what's it called? It was judicious with his words. Let me say that, because he wouldn't want to say anything. Because one thing I've always know is this: any position you occupy that you be afraid to speak the truth, it's better you don't go there. Now, how many of the people in this present government, members of the APC, have admitted that there's porosity in the security of this nation? So when you speak, they come against you. I think recently, I don't know, although you might not like Ndume, he might have his own flaws, but then what you cannot take away from him is that he speaks truth to power as a ranking senator, and they are not trying to threaten him. Discover if you speak out today, if a senator could be threatened, you get it, that Akpabio said we cannot allow you to continue to denigrate the president. Do you belong to this party or not? So it belongs to the APC. The ills and rottenness you just have to keep it. You have to find a way to massage everything that is happening, to pamper it, as you present to people as if nothing is happening. The point is, people are dying in their number. That's my concern. You cannot even travel. The point is, I've tried to checkmate myself. If you are having an occasion that passes me, that extends beyond, maybe, let me say, southwest state,
where I know I still have my legs to run.
Count me out. And the reason why they are not taking it serious, how I wish that every airline in this country shut down, so that all this government politically that they'll be traveling by road, so they will feel the pangs of insecurity people are feeling.
They don't actually attack them.
They won't accept.
That's the shocking thing I discovered lately.
You said they won't attack them.
They won't attack them.
To some extent, I disagree with you.
Because
I disagree with you.
Because
can the Senate president travel by road from Abuja to Benue State?
No, we won't.
We were told that Borno states, have been retrieved from Boko Haram. Now they are back.
They are back.
So the point is, Babagana Zulum was speaking, and the APC, through their what's it called, this man whose life is, yes, who has been paid. I think the same job Lai Mohammed was doing as a Minister of Information, it was during this regime that I knew Lai Mohammed was a learner that time. So these people took it to the extreme. How can a governor be saying my people are being killed, Boko Haram are taking over again, and Bayo Nanuga said nothing of such, that Governor Zulum has lost touch with reality.
Okay.
Now, when I criticize you, it's part of my fundamental rights as a Nigerian.
I think that's one thing politicians
to criticize you, but when I criticize, instead of it to address the issue, you prefer attacking my person. That's it. Femi Falana spoke, made some statements recently, and what's it called, the special advisor on media and this thing, what's it called, Larry Olayinka, the former aide to Fayose, see the way he was denigrating, I mean, Twitter is a leveler.
Like,
All right. He was even saying that what court case as Falana won that earned him the title senior advocate of Nigeria.
You know, sometimes when fights like that happen, you know, they can go down very dirty.
I even want to ask, like, do you think that there is a need for more people to be employed, recruited into our security agencies? Do you feel like it is necessary? Do you feel like it is necessary to recruit new policemen, soldiers, and all of that? Do you think it's necessary? Because the way this thing is going, like, even the people that are involved, they are even getting much than our security agencies.
I want to even add something to it, because if you look at our budgets in Nigeria for the last 10 years, security takes
the lowest,
the highest,
the
chunk of it.
But
this is now about 12.5% of the budget. 6 point something trillion.
So what are they doing with the money? What are they doing with
and
the
aside
money?
from that, recently I discovered that from the southeast, many refused to be recruited into the military. But we need hands, because honestly, I do you think we should add hands to it in trying to prefer solutions? Because now we've entered the phase of preferring solutions. It's time.
Yes, Josh. Yes, it's necessary. We need more hands. But the point is, joining the military or the police force should be a pride that I want to serve my nation. But when you know that when you sign, you actually know that there's every probability that you will pay the ultimate price, all right?
Definitely.
But then, that shouldn't be something that is on top of your soul. That when you get there, you can be killed at any time. That's it. No parents will open their eyes
to see such.
with the insecurity that's bedeviled the nation, that my son, go and join military, go and join this, go and join that. So that's what happened. I have a friend in the military. Actually, the time he was deployed to Sambisa Forest, it was God that saved him. When we met one December, he was telling me that all this top echelon of this military, all those, the money meant for them. So when they release this fund, maybe just imagine a Nigerian soldier, the money you are entitled to for feeding is less than 1,000 naira a day. How do you get the morale to fight? There's no morale. Imagine, if we talk about the roads in the security architecture, it's going to be extreme. We are not going to leave this place. Imagine people from a particular region, they will push them. Get it? These people will deliberately know that an ambush has been laid. They will still push people
to go there.
You understand? People have families who, they have been hoping that their loved one will turn to them, only to hear that they have died. So that's it. So with the fear, for the fact that we need more hands, and another problem that will prevent people from joining is the state of insecurity. You get it? Even the lives of those who are supposed to secure us are not safe. Now, what do we say about that? A policeman is supposed to secure me. His own life is even at risk. That means he will have to save himself first.
Because he also has families.
You understand? You get it? You see a policeman, okay, they are robbing in this particular apartment. Okay, where is the place? Where is the place? Why is it that our security agency will receive intelligence that people are perpetrating, violence? They are wreaking havoc in a particular community, and the security would have been informed beforehand before that incident. Now, it is after these perpetrators might have left
that is when they arrive,
that they will now come,
and they pick just people on the street and all that.
That is just it.
It's happened many times.
So what happened? You say you need intelligence. You are provided with intelligence. Why don't you? Some of these terrorists, they will operate in a particular location for more than 1 hour, 2 hours.
Even I've heard of kidnap cases where, from analysis of security experts, not within the country, outside the country, they will tell you to pull this off, it will take you up to 3 hours. To pull this off will take you up to 3 hours. How come all through the time when it was happening, not one person was available to at least know? Now, we are beginning to see, and I think from the beginning of our discourse to this particular time, we have observed that everything happening within the security space in Nigeria is attached to one thing: politics.
Definitely.
Both from the side of the government and even those that are the perpetrators of this crime. Now, one thing is, to now address politics will be quite difficult. Let's be very sincere with ourselves. because no matter what, even the government and those for they will still have to play a chess game, and the people are like the pawns in the chess. Now, with people as the pawns in the chess, do you think in trying to provide a lasting solution to this, when it comes to security, should it now be the task of the government or the people themselves should now begin to work out a strategy to protect themselves from such violence?
Thank you.
As postulated by T.Y. Danjuma and the head of DSS.
It should be the primary duty of the government. And when the government feels, like they say, if the agents of change refuse to make a change, then let us make the change ourselves. So when you are looking up to somebody, when you are not protecting me, look at the recent Supreme Court judgments. A man was inside his farm, a Fulani marauder attacked him, and the man overpowered him, collected his knife, and stabbed the man to death.
Self-defense.
Self-defense. The man was sentenced to death, and the Supreme Court affirmed the judgment that the man needs to die by hanging for defending himself. So the question is, had it been that Fulani as a man actually killed him, nothing would have happened.
Even the justice system seems political.
Can I tell you this? If we speak the truth, we will die. Have you ever seen a situation where a Fulani as man sleeps inside police station? These people, the small phone you see they are carrying all about, they know the top echelon to call. Order will come from above, release that person.
Many of them don't own the cows.
Look at the Oromi Delta State killing. All right, social media was awash with people venting their angers. People from the northern extraction, even the governor of Edo State had to visit what's it called? Had to visit Kano, a Kano governor. Now what? I don't know. But then, ever since almost 50-something people have been killed in Benue State, all these social media activists, this and that, they went into hiding. They went back to their cocoon. Nobody could say anything again. That means they are being selective. The question is the injustice, or when you are not affected by insecurity, you keep silent. It is until it affects you that you start speaking out. And if that continues to go on like that, we cannot make a headway.
So from your own hands, the people just need to defend themselves.
That's it. That's it. If you come to me, I know you want to take my, if I want to tell you, you know you want to take my life, and I have the ways and means to overpower you, my brother will do it. Something happened along Gileoluji. Some men, they were, they were trying to pass their cows, and some men were coming. Two guys actually, they ran into those cows and they died on the spot. Do you know what these Fulani men did? They dragged their dead body by the roadside and they went their way. If it was the other way around, they will have to look for those people, prosecute them. The question is, why are we being selective? Why are we, a kind of a region of the country we are just acting as if we are involved in servitude to others. Some people said they are born to rule, but we are born to serve. I mean, we are born to be a slave. It doesn't work that way. The president has to sit up. Don't what's it called? Don't extend the life of the people for votes. That because you want to appease the ego of the people, if you take a stringent mayor, they are not going to vote for you. All right. So you after KKK, Kaduna, Kano, and Katsina. No, let's be realistic.
It's kind of a very heavy situation and a very dire situation there, but not like we are trying to be tribalistic or region ethnocentrism and all that. No, we're just trying to say because that a lot of things needs to be done in the aspect of security, and like as you rightly said, it's high time the people themselves takes not really the law into their hands, but your defense into your hands too as well. And T.Y. Danjuma have said it. DSS, they've advised as well to a very large extent. We have our own parts to play to in our security, because honestly, if I talk about the politicking and the aspect of security, it's something that even protest can really correct in a day. It's going to take time and time and time and time and time again. But then if we come together as a community, I think we can safeguard ourselves to a very large extent, because from the old thing I've discovered that maybe financially it's not possible, but structurally it is very, very possible. Well, thanks so much, Abiodun, for being a part of this. We really appreciate this discussion with you.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Word of wisdom you've shared with us. But then it's time to go for sports. After sport, we come back, we'll see our conclusions on Daybreak Africa, and we'll say our goodbyes. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome back to the show. Just joined us to Daybreak Africa, and yes, it's time for us to say our goodbyes. I hope you're enjoying sport, and I hope you're enjoying our discussions.
Definitely. Definitely. We really need it at this point.
We need it at this point. I think I will just speak from the last statement there. Our security is our business. It's our personal business, and we need to do a lot of things to ensure that we are secure in this country as we speak. And well, you are a lady, actually.
I don't understand. It's not affecting ladies too.
No, it's affecting ladies too. I'm just talking about how you're going to defend yourself
Okay.
in this particular time. So everybody, I think one of the things we need to do is, I think those guys that goes to gym, they understand what's happening.
So that your broad chest is not for
It's not just to just show
six
to
packs alone.
I think we need to begin to, everybody needs to go and learn something military. Everybody needs to go learn
How to
something.
defend yourself,
as well.
self-defense.
And we should not just do it according to just personally. I think we should do it communally. I remember Alex said the same thing. Akinero Akinshide said the same thing too as well, that it must get to a point where even we can go to meet the police. As a community, want to defend ourselves. If possible, just release maybe 2 arms to us. We give it to somebody in the community, and as a community, we come together and defend ourselves. I remember in 2020, there was a criminal group in Lagos that was going street by street to rob. They began to call them the 1 million boys, and we discovered that the police wasn't defending them enough that period, wasn't defending the communities enough. So the 1 million boys were perpetrating crimes. So you know what we did in our communities then in Lagos?
What did you do?
We all came out together and had a meeting. At this particular time, if they are calling themselves 1 million boys, all of us needs to be 1 billion or 10 million boys too as well. So what we did was that people don't sleep. Some will wake up at night. We will sleep by. So by the time the 1 million by shift, so by the time the 1 million are coming, they know that area is ready for you already. So by the time, in no time, the 1 million boys became a story of the past, because by the time they attacked 2 communities and discovered that they were prepared for them,
ready.
They chased them, took some of them, burnt them. Everybody adjusted themselves. So I think sometimes, like the trending song in Nigeria, is in Yoruba, they were saying "we laughing we." That is madness that we used to attend to madness. So minus times minus in mathematics too can be plus.
Okay.
So this particular, I think it's right time we just do. Though we are not talking about anarchy, but we do it in a mature way, and it's something very important.
Yes.
Yeah. So as a lady, to try as much as possible to defend yourself.
Thank you very much. I will do that.
Yeah, you do that. Well, this is where we'll say our final goodbyes on Daybreak Africa for today. Tomorrow we're still going to be here on this set on Daybreak Africa, and definitely I won't be doing an affidavit, so my name will be changing. My name still remains Ikhonede Adegbeyeni.
And my name is Odunayo.
Bye for now, guys.